Speaking on the sidelines of HRM Asia's Big Data and Human Capital Analytics Congress, we speak to Manu Khetan of Rolling Arrays on using people analytics to derive strategic business decision making. Thank you, Manu, for joining us today. How can HR monitor the effectiveness of people analytics on Centre of Excellence?
Indeed, it's a very good question, and it is very easy to answer or to measure today in the current times, where I feel that HR has secured a great seat at the boardroom. And the reason why I say that is because the HR Center of Excellence is becoming very, very important for any organization to survive or to stay current or to stay profitable in the current times. If you take example of Google versus Microsoft, if you take example of SAP versus Oracle, we take example of Apple versus Samsung, all of these companies basically are in a way feeding each other the innovation of it. And I think the innovation comes from the decision makers, which actually drive the people aspect of the entire community. And that is the community which represents the entire company. So I would say basically that as long as we are able to measure the process effectiveness of the entire HR tower, I think that probably is the key in order to be able to define the total center of excellence of HR. And if we are able to define the right process from a company maturity perspective, and if we are able to map that particular process, I think each center of excellence can derive the right metrics of people analytics, which probably, yes, I think can function and result in an innovative and a profitable company.
What is one key HR challenge in using people analytics to derive strategic insights for the workforce?
I would say that typically what happens when any HR project or HR transformation initiative is run in an organization, that we either start from a system or we start from a process. I think the challenge is basically that the amount of time the business stakeholders need to invest in the beginning, which probably could be as little as 1 week, to be able to derive what exact process you want to automate in your organization. And I think that will probably result in the right people analytics and the right HR metrics. And if we are able to do it, I think that probably is the best magic step that we could take. So I again basically say that I am a great advocate of investing time 2 steps behind basically rather than in the actual journey. And that's where probably the challenge lies, that the stakeholders' time in order to be able to align them to the process and getting their buy-in, which is exactly coming from the business priorities. And I think then the outcome of the system automation and the process automation actually will result in a great people analytics, which is HR Center of Excellence.
How can HR overcome this issue?
I think HR needs to make sure that instead of just going and following a conservative approach of looking at a project like a project, I think they should make sure that while they have been able to, if at all, or they aspire to get a seat at the boardroom, they should get time and they should get the blessings or get the alignment from the business. And I think that is one discussion they should constantly have with the business stakeholders in order to be able to get their time, in order to be able to get their buy-in before embarking the journey. So I think the conversation between the HR leaders and the business leaders actually is one aspect which the HR should always be mindful of, and probably, yes, take it from there. I think this is one challenge that definitely they have because of the time of the business leaders basically, which is very difficult to get. But at the same time, I think this probably can get or play a great role if they are able to do it, and which of course can work wonders for the HR department as a whole and of course for the entire business as a whole.